Monsters. Monsters are real. Vampires, goblins, werewolves, yetis, you name it. Monsters have always been real. Like that old movie says, people are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals. So monsters kept themselves hidden in the tales of humans for millennia. When the societies of humans had evolved enough that monsters felt safe to come out, they knew they'd made a mistake almost immediately. Too late, it turns out. And though monsters were powerful, there were a lot more humans than monsters. And people are downright ingenious when they get scared. They'll come up with anything to get rid of that fear. And that's exactly what humans did. They toyed with reality itself and developed necrotechnic everything or weapons. Bombs that unmade the world. Sure, it depowered the monsters, but it also destroyed, well, darn near everything else. Of course, like cockroaches, humans survived. Now they've dug into their fancy little underground city of Bastion where their fingers are always hovering over the button that sets off more N2 weapons. Monsters? Well, we've got to work for the humans, going out into the toxic wastelands they've created to run supplies down the highways that defy the logic of space and time. But that's okay, because we ain't beaten, not by a long shot. We may work for them now, but there's a revolution a-coming. Just you wait and see. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you.
Hey,
Hey.
good to be here.
Tonight, we're playing a super special one-shot of Monster Truckers by Tablecat Games. Speaking of Tablecat Games, they're in the chat. Thanks for joining us. I am super excited to give this a run through. It is currently on Backer Kit. I'm like Backstarter.
Kickbacker.
Why don't we quick do a round of introductions? I'd love you all to tell us about yourselves and where to find you on the internet if you have a home that you would like to share and what you have coming up. Let's start with Wheezy. Tell us about you and who you're playing.
I am Wheezy, and you pretty much can't find me anywhere but Wanderers. Don't look for me. And I am playing
Don't look at me.
Shackleford, Rusty. Rusty is a ghost of a former human. He doesn't like to dwell on that, but paranoid. He's kind of an odd duck, like most ghosts. And his big rig named Petunia that has a flatbed is loaded up with some fertilizer for some totally good purposes. He gives his real name everywhere he goes. He has riding in the cab with him no small amount of spiders, beetles, flies, opossums in there, because Rusty's bound to this truck. And also a desiccated corpse. You know, it can't be a truck driving itself.
Right. That would be weird.
That would be weird.
Who would you like to popcorn it over to?
I want to pop it over to Modern Eagle.
I'm Nanad. You can find me on internet as Makerspace Threads. I occasionally post, maybe once or twice a month when I feel like it. And yeah, happy to be here. And I'm playing Modern Eagle. And I'm a zipper, also known as a Frankenstein or just Frank. I was built from leftover pieces of soldiers during the big monster war, but didn't really have much to do with the humans. And yeah, now I'm driving the Eagle, which is a bubble copter, which is currently sitting on Shackleford, Rusty's flatbed.
In hindsight, I should have animated a Thanos copter to fly across the screen.
We should have, yeah.
Who would you like to send it over
for that.
to? Right? We'll do it in post.
Exactly. Okay, I'll popcorn over to Dusty.
Nice.
Hey everybody, I'm Dave and I'm playing Dusty Raps. You can usually find me hanging out over at Guild Superior. Great to see all the familiar faces and names in the chat. I'm playing Dusty Raps. I am a mummy, a former model that tried to keep, you can't tell by looking at me, but I was a former model that tried to keep up my looks via experimental treatments, and now I am a monster. I am a hideous monster wrapped in Dusty Raps. I drive a big rig that we refer to as the Dust Devil. It's fast. It's ridiculously fast. real fast. But
Real fast.
it's real fast, but it's got bad brakes. We really haven't serviced the brakes for a while, and that's probably gonna come back to bite us in the butt. Cargo wise, I am currently transporting necro cows, affectionately known as murder moose, and because this is the world we're living in, folks. And so that's me. I'm Dusty Raps. I'm gonna pass it over to Howlin' Mad.
Nice. Hey, y'all. I'm Glass Jaws. You can catch me here, or you can catch me on my Twitch channel, Glass Jaws, playing games at times. As mentioned, I'm playing Howling Mad, the werewolf. I have a custom Pinto that, the scout vehicle for the group, or at least one of them. The Pinto Express. And I'm looking forward to playing. And I'm just imagining Modern Eagle like having one tiny little arm and one giant arm, like couldn't get, the same size.
Love it.
Well, spare parts are hard to come by.
Right? All right. So, you all are monsters. You are working for the humans who have squirreled themselves away in safety in the underground city of Bastion. And in the pre-dawn darkness, the immense metal door that leads into the complex is rising up behind your convoy as you pull out. Spotlights are shining in your mirrors, every so often catching you in the eye. Tell me what your vehicles... I mean, we can see what Howling Mad Murdoch's amazing Pinto Bean looks like, but as the scout vehicle leaves the fenced area, tell me what it looks like.
Yeah. It's this, bright orange Pinto hatchback. It's well maintained, waxed like once a week, cleaned. He spends a lot of time on it. Has one of those giant antennas that you would get from the cell phone companies in like the early 90s for his CB radio attached to the back. The thing's probably like, 10 foot tall. And, as he's driving, it bends in the wind. In the back, he's got like a little bed set up in the hatchback area. Got a nice little blanket there that's covered in, werewolf fur. He's got his baseball cap sitting over there. It's an old worn cap. It probably had more letters on it now, but now it's just got like an off-center F. That's all that's left on it,
Love it. Who's trailing you?
Oh, I'm probably ahead of Dusty.
Okay. So Dusty, as you pull out of the yard and the gates shut behind you, can you describe your vehicle to us?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Dusty's got the pedal to the metal right behind the Pinto Express, just sort of like the back of the trailer swaying back and forth. The actual cab that I'm driving is this kind of like rusted out brown color. The lead paint on it is flaking off, just to kind of lean into the mummy vibes. Under the hood, though, he keeps it immaculate. The only thing that he keeps forgetting to do is service the goddamn brakes. Like, for some reason, he's got a block. He can't get to the brakes ever. But he's driving an open air. He's got a trailer on the back, open air. It's got the murder moose in there. There's, debris flying out as he's gunning it behind the Pinto Express,
Nice.
swerving a little bit. And he's got a little... Yeah, he's got the tunes blasting. It's probably some 80s, in 1980s rock and roll of some kind. Probably a lit cigarette just hanging out the side of his mouth as he's gripping the steering wheel and gunning it.
Love it. Love it. So behind that, Shackleford, Karma, Rusty, you watch as this trailer sways a little bit. Now, you're a ghost. You remember seeing cows before the world ended. Whatever the fuck is in that car or is in that trailer, those are not cows. Their eyes glow red as they glare balefully at you. And then starts pulling like pretty quickly away from you as you start to pick up speed. Can you tell me about Petunia?
Petunia is a old style front assembly. It doesn't have a flat base. One of the headlights is out because I can see. The eyes, they're like eyes, just staring endlessly. She takes a while to get up to speed, but when she's up there, there's no stopping her. The cab is dark, no internal lights. You have to strain to see an open mouth, yawning, desiccated corpse just grinning with its hands tied to the wheel. And there's the sleeping possums in the back. It's a big cab. It's an old cab.
How many
He
possums?
doesn't know exactly how many. Well, at least 4. One of them's full grown, and we're not counting the arthropods in the cabin.
Yeah.
He pulls off, just glancing back at the. Well, you can't really see Rusty because he's controlling the whole cab. He possesses the truck. Rusty possesses stuff. The truck is possessed, and you watch him as the fertilizer in the back, just making sure it's still there,
Love it.
not going anywhere.
As you glance back,
Just
you
sort of
see.
looks at Dusty's rig as it pulls off and show off.
As you glance in your rear view, you see the crates steadily tied down, and behind that you can tell that the rotor of the helicopter that's sitting on the back end of your flatbed wobbles just slightly, but it also, everything seems to be pretty secure. Let me ask you, Modern Eagle, do you sit in the cab with the corpse in Petunia, or are you sitting in Eagle?
Right now I'm sitting in Eagle just to kind of get it ready.
Okay.
I mean, the Eagle is a bubble helicopter, but being
The
a...
doors don't really open much on the cab. At least not the passenger side one.
Just rusted
Well,
shut.
well, luckily they basically attach extra muscles so I can open them.
Nice.
As I'm sitting, I'm kind of straightening out the rotors. I mean, it's a small bubble helicopter. It doesn't have any doors. It's literally just a bubble, and I'm sitting this large, muscle-bound thing with mismatched arms and reaching out, adjusting the rotor a little bit, like bending it straight.
Nice.
The actual helicopter's kind of it's mostly like glass with like the back engine and not much else.
So, Modern Eagle, as Petunia picks up speed, you watch the lights of the outer perimeter of Bastion fade away behind you. And you're waiting for dawn. It should appear, here shortly, just kind of off to your right. But as you're watching, you're just out of sight of Bastion. And you hear this high-pitched revving noise, this high whine, and you glance over, and over the dunes next to you, 3 motorcycles rev and jump across the highway. They look at you with intent. What do you do?
Anybody riding motorcycles?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Is anybody riding motorcycles?
Yeah, that was ambiguous, wasn't it? There are riders on each of them. It's not the motorcycles looking at you. They appear to be
Hey, you never know.
human shaped, but they're all done up in leather. They have helmets on. You notice there are chains dangling from around their arms. Some of them have bats. What do you do?
I'm going to take off and try and scare them with my loud helicopter.
Okay. So as you quick throw off the tie downs, start up the helicopter, Petunia shakes a little. There's definitely a shift in weight as this happens. So Shackleford, Rusty, what do you do?
I compensate for the shifting and is thrilled to get that off my rig. there has been arguments about who carries this thing in
Yes.
the past.
Uh-oh.
And then he starts lining up. He guns it ahead so he can see if he can get ahead of the motorcycles so he can get them in his mirrors, because he's going to bring his turret around because he's got an illegal turret.
Okay.
I mean, it's legal now, but
As you're looking around and you begin to turn the turret, you do see a dune buggy racing behind you, coming up from maybe where the motorcycles jumped over. Maybe they came up. You missed where it was for sure, but they seem to be joining the chase, and the helicopter lifts off, lightening the load a bit on your trailer. Sorry, I just noticed something I need to take care of. But go ahead and... Sorry, I cannot multitask to do this. Hang on 1 second.
No problem.
please hold.
No worries.
It is not super important, but I should turn this off. Do. All right. Yes, it is still May. It is still Mental Health Awareness Month. Yes, you still can technically click the link that's in chat right now and go donate. But thanks to these fine people that are on screen, or most of them, we did things that already made our goal. Haha.
But we can always get more.
But we can, so if you want to, you can donate. But also, you can head over to the backer kit and support this game. All right, so does anyone tell Dusty Raps or Howlin' Mad Murdoch?
Well, we all have CB radios, don't we?
You do?
I personally think the eyes in the sky should.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
I'm busy trying to line up this shot and not
guess that-
maybe jackknife and, well, not die, but
Dusty, Howling Mad, we've got 3 bikers and some sort of weird car behind us. Behind you? Is behind them or behind...
I think I'm the
Rusty's-
last in our line.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm the
we've got...
slowest, but the heaviest by far.
So
That's
we've got
10-4, Modern Eagle. 10-4. Let's see. I don't have eyes on them. Howlin' Mad, you got eyes on these buggers?
Negative. Is this a 1033? Are these evil
Could
Knievel's?
be.
Yeah, they're evil Knievels. They're behind us. Oh, behind
be
you.
damned.
I'll
Let's
see if I
take them
can
out
hit 'em up.
before they disrupt our wagon train.
As that comes across the CB, Shackleford, Rusty, you're going to roll the first roll of the game. It's going to be an agile roll.
That is not my skill.
Okay, so you're going to roll 1d6. If you have any perks...
My perk is just that I am crafty, and that's it.
All right.
You got a 5.
A 5. A 5 is a success against these. Are you shooting at one of the motorcycles or at the dune buggy?
At the dune buggy as it tries to intercept.
Okay. You get the sense,
All right.
like looking out your tail end is weird. And so as the gun shifts around, it's a little blurry, it's a little awkward, like as you move your perception through the semi and the trailer and you're looking out the back there, you can see it, and you're pretty sure there's a couple people. One of them seems to be getting out, and he's got a harpoon gun or some kind of grappling gun or what. You better take him out. And up ahead, you hear just the of this turret start firing off. What happens as the turret hits, or the bullets from the turret hit this guy that's climbing out of the vehicle to
The
essentially
red
get
mist
on
is
your
coming up.
trailer?
You could first sort of see the pockmark sort of hits the dust and it kicks it up as it tracks towards its target and gets on target, and then it just mystifies the, the man, and then the buggy just stops and burns. big
All right.
holes
Hell yeah.
ripped into it.
There is this enormous explosion behind you. You hear
Kind of struggle to keep the captor up from the impact.
right in the copter. You actually hear like the whizzing of burning metal go swing, like just hurtling past you as you're just kind of starting to take off. There is a motorcyclist nearby that is going to try, and you see him pull out essentially what looks like a small grappling gun and aim it at you. He looks a little bewildered, like he kind of jumped when you started taking off, but once you did, he starts aiming this gun at you. So I'm going to need you to do an agile check as well. You're trying to not get hit.
I just roll 1 die. Get 3, so I think I do get... Oh wait, I do have a perk that will make a difference because I have a tough hide.
Oh.
How does that work? Do I just roll extra dice or...
So if you have a perk, you can use script to either auto success if you feel like that perk is something that would grant you an auto success, or you can lower the difficulty by 1 if you feel like it's just kind of leaning into helping you instead of just pushing.
What's he shooting me with?
What's that?
What's he shooting me with?
So it just looks like he has like a grappling gun, like he's going to try and shoot you and then maybe pull himself up to you, actually.
Okay, well then, I've got super strength, so can I pull him to me?
Nice. All right, roll your dice.
So can
I
I...
like to think that
is there-
Modern Eagle does not fit comfortably in the cockpit.
Oh, it's kind of like almost like wearing the
in there.
copter. So now is it brawny or is it still agile?
You know, I will absolutely take Brawny because you're essentially trying to catch this and pull him instead of dodging out of the way. Does that make sense?
The highest one is 4, so I don't know if that's enough.
I'm sorry, what'd you get?
4.
Just 1-4?
Yeah.
All right. It actually is not a success for these guys. So you need a 5 or a 6 to get a success. The grappling gun shoots past you, embeds in like the chair behind you, and all of a sudden the copter kind of jerks to the side as the bike's weight hits it. You do see the guy just like he swings off through the air. He's holding on to the grip of the gun. He reaches up, tries to grab onto it, and it begins whirring as it pulls in your direction. Up ahead, the explosion was pretty obvious. Howling Mad Murdoch, you are the scout. What are you up to?
Yeah, the way he's driving right now, it'd be hard to reach over and roll down the passenger window so he could slow down and shoot. So he's going to have to do like a quick U-turn, and he'll reach.
Matt, you come in. You copy.
Oh no, he exploded! Darn Pinto!
Exactly. Somebody rear-ended the Pinto.
We are not catching you on the radio.
We can. Are you
Howling?
back? There you are.
Yeah.
All right, so you're gonna flip a Yui.
Yeah, flip a Yui, grab the shotgun that's full of washers and pennies and whatever else he can stick in the shells. And this guy, that's kind of dragging along behind the helicopter, he's just gonna wait till he's close enough and just put a bit of buckshot into him.
Okay. Left or right?
Oh, middle, like waist.
Like so when you turn, when you flip your Yui, are you going left or right?
Well, consider I'm driving on the right side, left.
Okay. As you swing around, you notice there are 2 motorcycles heading. They're still back by Petunia, but they are speeding up, like pulling out what looks like these grappling gun shooting things and aiming it at Petunia's cab. You're actually going to get to them first. Do you want to change your plan, or do you want to go for the guy swinging in the air?
No, I'll change my plan in that case, because I'm sure Modern Eagle's going to go, doop and like drag this guy, or have some fun with him.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll go for one of the motorcycles. Probably try to take out the front of it so that it crashes.
Gotcha. Yeah, go for it. So you're going to do an agile check.
All right. You don't have any perks for this, so just regular agile. 556.
Whoa. Okay, so you rolled 3 successes. That's an exceptional success. As the washers and nuts and bolts that you've jammed into the shotgun rip through the front tire of this motorcycle, it just shreds. There's sparks goes everywhere as the metal hits the pavement. The fellow flies over the Pinto. However, his bike also hits, flips, and goes over the hood of the Pinto. Like, you watch it for a moment, there's some fire, some sparks, and then it hits the other guy. And that guy gets smushed between Petunia's trailer and your bike.
That's gotta hurt.
Meanwhile, in the Murder Moo machine, the Moostery machine, what is Dusty Raps up
Nice.
to?
Are there any targets that I can see either in the rear view or up ahead?
You actually see, look in the rear view and you can see this explosion that just happened. You can see the like the pretty horrific bike collision, and then you glance in your other rear view and you do see there are other bikes coming up over the dune to your right.
Okay. They're not on the roadway yet?
They are not.
Okay. Well, I am going to I'm going to try to draw their attention by gunning it and
Okay.
going even faster.
Nice.
I'm going to see how fast this thing can go.
I feel like we can do a crafty check to see if you can try and get their
Yeah.
attention over everyone else.
I'll probably like give it a and a yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, what is a crafty check? What do I do?
All right, so are you a crafty monster?
Well, that's a great question. I'm agile.
So since you're agile, you're gonna roll 1d6 instead of
All right.
3d6.
Yeah.
So you need a 5 or a 6 for a success.
I got a 4.
A 4. It comes
Yep.
close. You do like they do glance in your direction. They're a little startled, but then they look at Petunia. There's something about Petunia's. Maybe they just don't want to deal with the murder moose. But whatever it is, they do. They are going slower than you. It looks like they're going to be on a intercept course for meeting Petunia.
All right.
All right, so let's come back around. Actually, they're going to go, so we're going to need Shackleford, Rusty. Go ahead and actually, there are 3 fellows coming in on bikes. It looks like they're about to try and jump on your cab and your trailer in some fashion, whether it's using these little pistols or whatever. What do you do in response?
Gun it and turn toward them to try and loop around and pass in front of them so that they have to either stop, swerve away, or get smushed.
Okay. All right, so let's have you do an agile.
Just gonna roll a 1.
You got a 1? Oh no.
Oh.
So, I just need to double check because I know rolling 1s is not great, but you might need.
Nope.
You need 3.
Yeah, you need 3 on your 3d6. You need 3 1s to get a critical failure. So that's good at least. However, as you go to dodge out of the way, you hear the of these grappling hooks hit your cab and the trailer, and all of a sudden they're just off their bikes and you can feel them on the outside of the truck. Modern Eagle.
I see those people, the guys climbing onto the side of the
You
truck.
do. You are also currently sand fishing with this guy that's connected to the grappling hook that's being drugged by the copter. But
Is he close enough for me to seize him and throw him and try to knock over off one of the people who's behind the truck?
Yeah, he will be actually after your turn. He's his grappling apparatus is like whirring away. You can hear it pulling him closer.
Oh, but he's not close enough.
You could probably pull him close enough. Just grab that rope and
Pull him and try and throw him into the thing. Or even better, like, dude.
Wait, if you swing him around, that's going to go into the rotors. Are you trying to like?
Yeah. Oh, that. Okay, I think I'll do that because I'll forget I have the rotors, and then whatever's left of him, I'll throw at the other people.
All right, go ahead and do a brawn check. I will say I'm
So
super,
one success.
One success.
Yeah.
I'm super interested by the captions because it makes some of the weirdest choices for words, but it's entertaining.
Pokemon.
I want to say Beatles. Yeah, it does the Beatles. Sorry. Anyway, I'm not saying it's distracting for me, but so with your success, you do pull him up. You don't manage to hit him with the rotor. However, you do like arc him towards one of the other fellows. Let's have you do one more brawn check as you are aiming at one of them.
6.
Amazing. With the 6, you hear this like as the two of them collide. I need my yes, no, maybe die to make a decision for me here. You see one of them, the one that you threw, gets tangled up in his own rope. He falls off. You kind of glance back and he's rolling down the highway. The other one is not knocked off, but is like dangling on the net that's holding down the cargo. Howling Mad Murdoch. Your Pinto's racing by this as you see this fellow fall off, goes rolling down the highway. To your left right now, there is a guy that's like hanging on, and he turns his motorcycle helmet to look at you, and you just like stare at each other for a moment. What do you do?
Oh man, that's interesting. So he's got a helmet on, but like, is his neck exposed?
I mean, he's got a leather jacket, but yeah, you can see like cloth and fleshy bits under there.
The werewolf in me reaches out, takes a claw, and just tries to slice at his neck as I drive by.
Let's call that a brawn check.
Okay. That's what I was afraid you were going to say.
You're not a brawny werewolf?
No, I'm an agile werewolf.
If you want to argue why it's agility, I'm open to arguments.
Yeah, I am moving really fast. Like, this is a precision thing as opposed to, me putting my power into it, right? Like, I've got the momentum with the vehicle.
Sure. I'll let you do it.
All right. I wasn't very good at it. Like 2-2-3.
2-2-3. As there's just a moment too long of you staring at each other, and as you reach out, he's like, "Nope," and he begins pulling himself back up. Dusty Raps, what are you doing?
Everything is kind of happening behind me, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am going to, and I'm going really fast right now, just to be totally clear. I'm going to slam the brakes on and try to spin the moostery machine into a sideways position to block the road.
Okay.
Putting all of those moo lives at risk.
Yeah, but they're murder moos. I mean, these things are necro cows.
So they're not really in danger. Their lives aren't in danger.
Their lives are not necessarily in danger.
So your quirk for your truck, however, is that you got bad brakes.
I have terrible brakes.
So I need you to go ahead and roll a brawn as you try to like mush down on these brakes.
Okay. That's a 3.
Not gonna cut it. You like mush down, and you can hear the metal grinding on metal.
Shit!
Behind you, you just hear like the Murdermoos just like mooing and cursing you. There's that weird whispering that they do. Oh, it's so creepy. And the truck sways as you're like getting ready to turn it, but then once you realize you're just gonna roll your truck if you try and do this, you straighten it out. You don't botch it that bad, but you're not able to get control of the vehicle.
All right.
Um,
Very effective up here. Going fast.
There's 2 left. There's 2 figures still on Shackleford, Rusty's Petunia. They seem to be heading towards the cab, like they're going to try and break in. One goes up to the driver's side, one goes to the passenger side. I need you to do 2 checks for me here. I'm going to have you do a crafty for the one that's on the driver's side.
$12.
Separately, what are the numbers?
So a 6, a 4, and a 2.
All right, so that's a success. As that one like goes to look in, he sees the corpse. Not what he was expecting whatsoever. He was like going to reach in to grab the steering wheel, completely misses, and like in horror of what he's looking at, forgets to grab anything else. Howling Mad Murdoch, you can see in your driver behind you in your rearview mirror as one of them falls off the vehicle, hits, like bounces, tries to catch himself as he's like in the air, hits again. You can see just like maybe the snapping of leg bones as just smashes into the pavement. Now, Wheezy, tell me how you want to deal with the other one.
Where is he?
So this one's trying to come in the passenger side, which is a little easier to open because Eagle every so often will go in that side.
Rusty's gonna possess a large possum. It's all like covered in mange and doesn't see a whole lot of daylight, and have it waddle up to the window and roll the window down and take a big bite at this guy's face.
Nice. I feel like, you give me a reason why whatever roll you want to make is the case, and we'll probably go with that roll.
I say crafty because it's creative, and he is not expecting possum face.
Nobody expects possum face.
Right, nobody expects cranky possum face. So everyone who's watching can see the truck as it like really starts to stabilize, and you've seen this before where you can tell Shackleford is depossessing or dispossessing the truck.
It slows a little bit. It feels dimmer somehow.
Love it.
Hold on to something that's on the back of the truck.
And go ahead and roll your crafty.
3, 3, 6.
All right, you got a 6. That's what you needed. As this possum jumps up, only Modern Eagle can see this really well, and Shackleford, Takama, Rusty, because you're in the possum. But you see the person like going to grab the door handle. The possum jumps up, wasn't expecting it. Lets go, begins to flail, tries to grab it. You're not sure if he's down for the count, but as everyone speeds by, and technically Howling Mad Murdoch, you're speeding the other direction, and you can see this as he rolls to a stop. He does kind of like, he is moving a little bit and kind of stands up and he looks around. Like all the bikes are laying in the dirt several hundred yards back. He just looks lost at this point. What do you do, Howling Mad Murdoch?
Oh, I'd do a Yui and drive back his direction. I'm gonna, as he's starting to get up, I'm gonna go with like a golf club swing with the butt of the shotgun.
Okay.
Again, going with momentum from the vehicle
Sure,
as I drive
yeah.
by here. Yeah. Even worse this time. You're just not having a great day.
I take it no successes.
No successes. 1, 2, 3.
All right, you swing, it just goes wide. You like was stumbling up, and you weren't expecting the way he was going to move, and then you're speeding by, catching up. You can see Modern Eagle flying. Modern Eagle, you're looking out. You don't see any other of these bandits, these raiders that were trying to steal your convoy.
We're clear.
All right. And with
Kind of
that,
go up higher and kind of try and get an overview of this.
the dawn
So the
begins
gaze
to...
the murder moose as they look up at me.
You peer at the Modern Eagle. You can see the horizon a little bit better than everyone else. They're kind of down in this little valley of dunes. You see the sun start to poke over the horizon. It's like that weird burnt brownish weird color that it's been since the N2 bombs went off. Everything's just a little weird. But as the dawn arrives, everyone gets back in their positions. Unless Modern Eagle is staying in the air, also just fine.
Just for a short while, just to get the lay of the land.
Okay.
Dusty Raps, you have your ears on?
That's Big 10-4, howling mad. We all squared away.
We are. Though I was curious if the cargo's been fed today.
Why are you asking?
Well, we got some extra back here that...
Yeah, murder
Look,
is
it's our job to
100% carnivorous.
It's our job to get these beasts from point A to point B. We ain't supposed to feed them or nothing.
Roger
Actually,
that.
on the top of the trailer... No, that's too much. Never mind. There's just a wood chipper at the top of the trailer. I'm not going to say what it's for. Mhm. Anyway,
Nothing.
We got it. Do we need to get rid of the evidence? Is that what you're thinking?
No, I just thought they might be better fed so that they're easier to handle when we got to get them out.
I mean, if I do recall, let me look at the manifest here. I guess if we do bring them in at a heavier weight than when we left, we might get paid a little bit more.
so Dusty, as you reach for the manifest, you pull it out and you realize, one, probably should have checked this before you left. Two, there's a note attached to it.
Well, hold on a second here. What's this? Yeah.
As you open it, you notice that Ray, who's your dispatcher, has left you an extra set of instructions.
I'll be damned, Ray.
It appears that on your run, there's a little bit of subterfuge, a little bit of espionage that the monster freedom fighters would like you to partake in. Apparently there is a rumor, or rather there was a sighting by some skitterers of an undetonated N2 bomb, but they said it was weird. It was weird. So at one of those HSD bases out at mile marker 47.
Well,
And
shit.
Ray wants you to pick that up and drop it off. There's some directions on how to get there. On your way to drop off the murder moose and pesticides and fertilizers that Shackleford, Rusty is carrying.
We're gonna have
Not
to.
explosives at all.
We're gonna have to skip the murder move food for a minute. Partners, we've got some details here from Ray, mile marker 47. I'll be damned if he's not suggesting that there's an undetonated N2. We're supposed to, pick it up?
Petunia can carry it. Where are we taking it? Are we keeping it?
Let's see here. I think does it say where we take it to?
Yeah, so it says that you're going to drop it off. There's a faction of the freedom fighters that apparently have access to some scientist. There's not a lot of details on it, but they want to have a closer look at this strange bomb.
Yeah, there's instructions here for us to take this to the MF squared. Drop it off so they can take a peek, see? Look under the hood and whatnot. Apparently it's some strange one. Sounds pretty important anyhow.
As long as you keep it back there away from me.
Rusty, you got extra cargo room on your rig, don't you?
Yeah, especially if the bumblebee doesn't keep hanging out. I'm sorry, it's still yellow in my head.
Yeah. That's fine. It can be yellow. We didn't say
Mine
which color
now.
it was. Just turned yellow.
For what it's worth, in my head, it also says Thanos on the back, but,
Yes, it does.
that's all your fault.
Because he stole it.
That's fair.
It came from Universal Studios. And
No.
so it's a prop copter.
No,
Right.
there is right now somewhere in the desert. There's Thanos running around. Where's my copter?
Love it.
Some casino in Vegas that's missing its Thanos copter
Right.
off the roof.
Just before the war happened, Marvel opened like a retro Marvel Comics casino.
It's-
Had the Thanos copter in it. It had the spider bike and the spider car, and yeah, it was amazing for those of you who had the chance to see it before it was wiped out.
What mile marker are we at right now?
I mean, you just left, so you were not very far.
We're at 0.
Right? Yeah,
So
you
they
got
can see, from where we left, all of this happening.
no. So you had just gone out of sight of Bastion when this happened. So let's say you were 3 miles out. So you probably have 40 some miles to go before you turn off and go down to wherever this HSD facility is.
We better gun it then. Yeehaw!
As I forgot the name of Dusty's truck.
The Dust Devil.
The Dust Devil. As the Dust Devil picks up speed, Shackford, it's a little difficult for you, lay it on, and you're like, oh, come on. It's like me following my dog around when she wants to smell things. I'm like, oh, I can't walk that fast.
Rusty's making the wheel whip around real good, and it handles pretty nimbly, because the quick reaction time of not having a body at all.
And your
But
brakes
she's-
work.
But she's still a heavy girl.
You have brakes.
But that's the other thing is that Petunia stops because Petunia has brakes.
Yeah, I go real fast, but I don't ever slow down.
I can't.
Love it. All right, so as the miles melt away, the strange time distortions that you as truckers are pretty used to definitely set in. You watch the mile markers pass one by one as you're flying down the highway. Maybe it takes a minute between mile markers. Maybe it takes 15. You swear that last one between 35 and 36 took at least 2 hours. In the helicopter, Modern Eagle's watching, you notice off in the distance clouds of dust every so often, other trucks moving, other vehicles moving through the area, but nothing moves to intercept you at this point.
Oh, look, there's a pack of murder moose there.
And as you... I feel like Modern Eagle's the first one that might catch sight of it. Up at mile marker 47, you can see a road, an exit that goes off, and off to the south of that is a large complex. And as you all slow down,
I see the SPC complex.
Dusty using the the ramp to slow down rather than the brakes, so that when you turn to go on the overpass over the highway, you don't just roll your truck. You slowly coast into this area. The fences are all long since torn down. The buildings themselves are dusty, dirty, broken, collapsing. What do you do?
Coast to a stop in front of this structure.
Find a place to land.
So looking around,
Pop.
it reminds you a lot of like an airfield. You don't see any signs of runways, but a lot of times that stuff got bombed out of existence. It was the first things that got hit so that planes couldn't take off and such. So you're looking around and you see like a very large hangar type building and then several smaller, maybe office buildings or labs or something.
Dusty would hop out of the rig and like start to stretch. Yeah, the back is so stiff, and you just kind of hear that as he straightens his back, and then he'll walk around the rig and make sure all the straps are strapped securely and the latches are latched appropriately, and kind of shakes the cage of the murder moose. How you bastards doing in there?
You hear that weird whispering. It's never understandable. You can't understand what it is. You're not even sure if you're hearing it or if it's in your head.
This is creepier than we are.
Their baleful red eyes glaring at you. Yeah, they're still secure.
What do you reckon we do now?
Well,
Do you see any bombs around here?
How narrow is are the buildings arranged in like towards this large hangar? Like how much clearance is there enough to fit, say, a large flatbed?
So yeah, as you're looking around, the hangar itself is probably a couple 100 feet from the other buildings. It looks like there was once a skywalk that went between the like one building and the hangar itself, but it's long since collapsed. And it's very easy to pull into that area, and you could definitely pull the whole truck into the hangar if the door was open.
I can open that door for you.
I'll help you.
You watch as Dusty instinctively arms go up like this as he's like starts walking towards mummy style towards the hangar doors.
It's actually it was one of your signature
Very
modeling,
slow.
like when you did your model walks.
Yeah, he's ironically very slow when he's not driving.
You're putting like the one foot in front of the other
Yeah.
as you're doing the model. Yeah.
I
catwalk.
love
Considering
there's
the
a
time-
catwalk of a mummy because that is the only way Dusty knows how to walk.
It is.
The question is Dusty an ambi-turner? Can you turn left and right when you're not driving?
We'll have to roll. I have agility. We'll have to roll for it.
Love
Did you
it.
put I don't know, is that a perk? You have it.
All right, ambi-turner.
Ambiturn.
All right, so it sounds like
now.
Modern Eagle has landed the helicopter and is going with
Yeah.
Dusty Wraps.
Yeah.
Shackelford-
I'm probably also instinctively doing that because we're in the same genre.
When you're in your vehicles, you're just like slick as hell, but once you get out, you're just like,
Yeah, you're kind of stiff too. It looks like.
Yeah.
We got to stretch more.
Love it. What's Helen Med Murdoch doing?
He's gonna climb up on Dusty's truck just to get a view out, in case there's other, motorcycles or anything nearby.
Sure.
I don't want our cargo to get stolen while we're investigating this place out.
As you're looking around, you actually notice from your vantage point there are some other tire tracks out here. Now you know that from what Ray said, some skitterers had found this place. Now skitterers they were human back before the anti-rad drugs that they were taking to be out here really started messing with them and interacting with the radiation. Apparently only 1 in 10 humans this happens to, but it's really not the best of odds. And it really messes with things like their atomic cohesion. And so they begin to look like their bodies kind of coming apart and jumping around, hence the name skitterers. Once that happens, yeah, they're not let back into Bastion. There's no welcoming that back home. They just kind of get exiled out here. So they make the best they can, and they tend to become like kind of scavengers. So skitterers finding this wasn't all that surprising. So you know that somebody has been out here, but it does look like these tire tracks are fresh.
Okay. Well, I'll stay here by the truck until they get that door open.
Okay.
Might be room to bring all the vehicles in, if so.
All right, as Dusty and Modern Eagle head to the door, you get to, a normal size human walk-in door. It is closed, but as soon as you like pull on it, you can see that the handle itself is loose, like it was smashed, and you just pull it, and the wreckage of the lock is just kind of scrapes against the metal frame of the doorway. You open it up and you look inside. It is gloomy inside, but not dark.
Let's see if we can get the door open.
You want to go first? Why? Age before beauty, as they say.
So we go in and
Okay. So you go in and you walk around a little bit and you realize, there's some controls over here for the hangar door.
is there any power though?
Once you click on it, it doesn't react.
Maybe there's generator laying about somewhere. I'll quick check over here.
Is there a manual override? go to the door.
I mean, like just lift it open. Like hangar doors are pretty big and heavy, but
They
Might
use
be
my
easier
super
to
strength.
just, like, tear a hole in it.
so I'm kind of wondering if Modern Eagle's super strength can do it. It's going to
No.
be a pretty difficult roll. You're going to need at
All
least
I
a
have
6.
to offer you is some possum strength, and I don't think that's gonna do it.
I can just see like this Frankenstein is motionless.
So this is the situation where you can spend a script to activate your super strength perk and
Yeah.
reduce the difficulty of this by 1. It's not one that you can just auto succeed on, but you can make it so you need 5s instead of 6s to succeed.
Why not? Chancellor, I will get 1, please. Walk time. And I still don't succeed. Like, comes up a little bit and fixed down.
All right, so you've spent 1 script. You're down to 2. Keep that in mind, and remember that to earn script back, lean into your quirks. Or if there's danger and you or somebody spent a script last scene, which no one did, so you can't do it now, but you can use your CB to warn others of that danger and earn that script back. But Dusty, you hear this like it's just too heavy. It's a pretty enormous door. So Dusty continues on to try and find the generator.
Yep, looking for the generator at this point.
Sure.
I look this side. I'm kind of closer on the other end.
All right, so outside, what's Shackelford and Halamed Murdoch doing?
Shackelford has looked at one of the possums. He's had the window rolled down by some means. He looks at the possum, and as he always does when he possesses this, shh, and a fat possum. And he also uses his part of control bugs, and he gets a bunch of nasty, creepy crawlies to climb up on the possum's fur, and then the possum just pathetically scurries its way up onto the window, squeezes through the window, and plop on the floor, waddles its little way over to see if I can find a smaller form of ingress. Um, he's pulled up Petunia pretty close, so he doesn't have to get too far
Sure.
over open ground.
So the
sad possum.
the like walk-in door is hanging open, but you look around and there are, you know, areas of metal that have been like kind of peeled back or rusted away over time. Which one do you want to go for?
He's gonna go for he's gonna whittle his way into one of the pried open holes. And he's gonna look around slowly. You know, gotta creep through.
As you're looking around, go ahead and do a crafty check for me.
562.
Nice. So that's an exceptional success. As you go in, you're used to weird smells, especially being around this crew. But there's something weird in here. Your little possum nose picks it up. Kind of makes your spine... It's weird remembering what a spine feels like. Makes your spine kind of shiver. Your hackles all stand up. And you notice there's little bits of dirt and floor and debris in this little area that you crawled into that are moving about, almost like they're reacting to... It's like when you have those oh geez, what are they called? That metal that moves with sound, and it kind of gets all spiky and stuff, but you don't hear anything.
Do I feel anything with my little possum feet?
Maybe there's a little thrumming, like a little vibration.
Is it constant or rhythmic?
Seems rhythmic, kind of in time with the way these things are moving about.
Does it feel like it's getting stronger?
Mm-mm.
Do I smell anything?
Yeah, it smells weird in here, but you have really no idea what the heck that smell is.
Am I connected to the main body of the hangar building?
Like,
Can I access that from the little torn up place that I've entered from?
As in, like, possessing it?
No, I mean, like, can I get to
Oh,
the
I see what you
hangar
mean. Yes,
from where I am?
absolutely. Yeah, essentially you like came in, maybe you're in a little storage area or something, but you move through and you're kind of dodging around these things, and yeah, you squeeze out and you can actually see on the far side Dusty Raps and Modern Eagle are messing around with what looks like a large generator.
Do I see anything watching them?
You're looking around, you don't see anything, no.
I hug the shadow.
You do notice that there are some crates that are open, like some large crates that are marked with HSD logos and such. Maybe there's something in one of those, but you don't see anything that's obvious.
Can I investigate one of the crates and how big are they in relation to the possum body?
Yeah, so the crates are large enough for a person to walk into. They're kind of like pods for like moving, those pods that you get brought to your house.
Those kinds of pods.
Yeah. And so smaller than like your truck trailer, but pretty large. And as you begin looking around, you're sniffing in them, looking. Looks like a couple of them are empty, and they have these racks that seem to have held something at one time. And then you get into one, and you look up, and there is definitely a bomb. sitting on one of the racks. It's not huge, but it would probably take Moderate Eagle to lift it.
I've been expecting your call, Destiny.
You just climb up and push the button.
I finally figured out how to get out of the ghost body. So how big is it? Like, smaller than a house, bigger than a bread box?
Definitely smaller than a house, definitely bigger bread box. Bread box, definitely bigger than a possum. It's about person size. It's kind of hard to tell.
Where the drumming is coming from?
It isn't.
All right, Rusty kind of like a cat sort of arches his back and turns and looks around. He realizes he's left himself too exposed, so he's gonna scurry, hugging the shadows again, back out and poke his head through the opening that he came in and try to get Dusty and Eagle's attention.
Okay.
As he wonders, where is that werewolf? Because I don't know where Howlin' Mad is right now.
So
Go ahead.
as you try to get their attention, and Modern Eagle and Dusty are working on the generator, what is Howling Mad Murdoch doing?
Yeah, after taking a look, just making sure nothing was nearby, he's got to get away from the murder moves. With his keen smell and them on a all meat diet, it is not a good smell for him to have nearby too long.
And it's super weird because after a while, that whispering that they do in your head, it feels like they're doing it in your nose too. It just gets so creepy. There's a reason that they're not kept at Bastion.
Oh yeah. So he definitely wants to get away from these, but he's worked with Shackleford, Rusty a while, so he's going to run to his vehicle real quick and grab out one of those little 1980s kids see and spell toys that talks in the robotic voice.
Love it. Okay.
And then, I don't know if I saw Shackleford, Rusty run off as a possum or not, but if I did, I'm going to run after, go, all right, I got your voice.
It only then occurs to Shackleford, Rusty that he cannot communicate as possum.
Well, I imagine him as basically standing there going.
About this time, Mad Murdoch or Howling Mad Murdoch kind of walks up next to you as you're trying to get Dusty Wraps and Modern Eagle's attention.
There's much weird little pink rat feet waiting around.
Yeah. I'll pick up the possum and hold the see and spell to it.
By the tail.
All right, so you're all together again. The generator itself is not in bad repair. It does have fuel, but as you're like trying to start it up, I am gonna need a crafty roll, or I would allow Brawn from Modern Eagle as far as like trying to like spin it up or something.
I do actually also have the mechanics perk.
Oh, excellent.
Advice here.
116.
Can see my roll is 112. So just one try.
Jeez.
Oh wow!
You have flesh mechanics, not machine mechanics, right?
That was almost a crit failure. That would have been fun.
Well, basically, accidentally end up electrocuting myself, which for me is fine. But
yeah, there's a moment of like, and then it like powers down again. The gas is probably, it might need new gas, so you might need to go siphon some out of your truck, or I don't know if any of you carry, gas cans in your trucks or vehicles.
Rusty may have something. Who knows what's back there?
Are there any
diesel? Did you? Oh, good.
Are there any fuel canisters anywhere in the warehouse here, the hangar?
You look around, you don't see anything.
No shit. Did anybody find a bomb by chance? Oh, They got rats in here. Oh shit!
No,
If
that's,
if the possum's going off like in my hand, I'm like, just take over the seeing spell.
And then the possum just sort of goes limp, and then its eyes widen like it's seeing the world again for the first time. And for one brief moment, it looks like it's going to make a break for it and finally be free of this nightmare, but it realizes there's nowhere to go. And it just sort of sadly creeps back towards the rig, and then the seeing spell lights up with bomb, crate, bomb, crate, shaking.
which
Because Rusty can't spell too good, so vibrating isn't going to help.
Fair.
Vibrato.
I'll turn the seeing spell. Like, tell me when I'm facing it. Almost like a metal detector.
Wiggly,
Warmer, warmer.
and it just makes it. He makes it scream by pushing all the buttons at once. When Howlin' Mad is facing in the correct direction.
Yeah, the group of you end up finding the bomb inside this small enclosure, this kind of storage pod area.
You think we could just carry this outside, skip the whole getting the doors open deal?
I think so. I should be able to carry it.
Through what?
There's something else. It's about person size, so I should be able to pass through the person size door that we came in through. Did it fit through the door we came through?
Only one way to find out.
I mean, you said it wasn't huge, but like, what are we talking, Jeremy?
It's
It fit through a people door.
right. It would be difficult for one person to carry it if they didn't have super strength. It is awkward for Modern Eagle to carry it by himself, as it's like when you're trying to carry a fridge by yourself, and like, yeah, you can do it, but you just kind of have to walk it out there.
Are we able to fit through a door that's open, or do we?
It should fit through the door you walked in, yeah.
Are we gonna have to oil it?
You gonna grease that bomb up? That sounds like fun. We used to do something similar like that back in Egypt.
When were you in Egypt?
I was on a modeling gig out there. It was great. We were all oiled up, the whole bit. It was good. You ever been there? You ever been to Egypt, Modern Eagle?
No. I
Oh,
hope
you gotta
to
go sometime. Yeah, you gotta fly on over.
We should go.
That's
Egypt? Maybe later.
Shackelford, comma Rusty is probably right. We should go to Egypt.
I agree. Okay, let's leave this and we'll hop onto Egypt.
Well, we gotta help the freedom fighters first, don't we?
Can we do that when we come back? I mean, the bomb is not going anywhere. It's been sitting here for years. Okay, fine. So we give me a hand with this thing. Kind of like dragging it.
Sure.
All right,
Give me
so-
1 second. I'm gonna look
Yeah.
around the area and see if they got like any hand carts or anything for moving stuff.
Oh, so me dragging along the ground, so with the like tip down, bouncing it up.
So, Halamad Murdoch, you go out and you start looking around. You're looking for like some kind of push cart or some kind of like crane to carry it with or something. And you look up and, well, there's a fella. He's standing off between you and the door. You notice that bits of him are leaping off. There's this weird thrumming in the air. And he kind of
Do you feel that?
swipes his hair back. I'm sorry, but we found that, and I think we're going to be taking it. And as he says that, you notice that moving throughout the hangar, climbing down from the rafters, skitterers are shifting, moving about in their honestly kind of unsettling manner. One of them walks over and like high fives the first one, and you notice their hands meld when they touch.
Ugh.
Like in a
And-
magic way or in like a gooey way?
In kind of a gooey way. Like it's almost like pixelization reaches out between them, and then one leans into the other, and it grows and shifts, and this purple green energy begins to kind of lash around. And he opens his eyes. A little bit of green lightning arcs off of it as he looks at you, Howling Mad Murdoch. And he smiles.
Run.
And that's where we're going to go to break.
Oh!
Oh. Run.
Thanks so much for tuning in with us so far. It's good to see everybody. Thanks for chatting, everybody. Again, we are playing some Monster Truckers. Currently on BackerKit. Head over and check that out maybe while we're on our break here. And then you can know all about it when we come back in, let's call it 10 minutes because I say 5 and it ends up being 10. So let's just not make it 15 when we say 10. All right, everybody. We will be back soon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Welcome back. We're playing some Monster Truckers by Tablecat Games, currently on BackerKit. Head over, check it out. It's a ton of fun. And
It is.
just before the break, all of you ran into some skitterers who seem just a little extra warped out of reality and are melding together and look rather like they want to take this bomb you've been sent to pick up.
I'm sure it's just a misunderstanding.
I'm sure it is. The one that's looking at you all says,
They'll be taking it,
So-
and that's the misunderstanding.
we saw that first and we made a little too much noise at the cafe. Everyone heard us, and we understand that maybe you think that you're here to take it and do something with it, but we realize that's worth quite a bit, and we're gonna go ahead and be taking that off your hands now.
Yeah, you might have seen it first. That could be true. Hey, but we have it in our possession. And guess what? I heard that possession is 9/10 of the law. I don't remember what the other 10th is, but it don't mean squat.
And for what it's worth, every time you do that, I see you
Yeah,
do the Michael Jackson.
strike a pose.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. What do you all do? They're starting, like, as they group together, they're kind of reaching out, morphing into one another.
Oh, that's
But they
How
still-
many
right.
total?
Sorry, there were a couple questions over one another. What was that?
Rusty asked how many.
So it looked like there were 7 total. Now there are 8. Sorry. Let me
One.
rephrase that because my brain unmasked. Now there are 3 because 4 of them have like come up and touched each other and morphed into one. So there's 1 big one and 2 just kind of stragglers.
Two regular sized
Yeah.
guys.
All right.
I'm still holding the bomb, so
Yeah. What do I see around this area? Like, is there a pitch? Like, what do we see? Like,
So this was a hangar that housed and stored not only the aircraft that might have used these, but there are these pods that probably held other bombs, but it looks like a lot of it's been scavenged over the years. So there's not much in here, but you tell me, what do you see?
probably like a propane-powered forklift is what I was looking for. Something like that, like things that they were using to move the bombs around.
Yeah. You glance over. You didn't notice it when you came in because it's kind of parked off in the corner. Like there's a shelving unit that it's like sitting up against. You do notice it. It's there.
Well, I'm going to make a run for it,
Okay.
just in case. I don't know if it's actually going to work, but I'm taking Shackleford, Rusty, and my speaking spell over to that. I'm just going to stick this speaking spell. Like, they got the little containers, to hold notes and stuff like that for, the people driving it.
Sure.
Stick the speaking spell in there because I don't want it to get damaged. And
There aren't many left.
right, exactly. It's hard to get parts for these, just like the Pinto.
So when
You
you
know-
book it, the larger of these skitterers, the ones that are morphed into one, they're not like a single cohesive unit. They kind of roil and shift, and they move with you, like a reaction. So you begin to run and they begin to run with you. We're gonna do an agility check. To see
Okay.
if
Is there
you
a way
can-
to help?
You
Can I help?
if you have a perk that'll like either I
have
believe
gear.
sorry, go ahead.
I have gear that might lend a hand here. Otherwise, I could use a perk.
What's your gear?
Well, one of my quirks is that I have a phobia of fire, and so he is always carrying a fire extinguisher wherever he goes. So I was thinking I could unleash the fire extinguisher on those guys to give some cover to Howlin' Mad Murdoch as he makes a beeline for the forklift.
I love it. If you spend a script, I will
do that.
absolutely lower the difficulty on this for
Deal.
nice.
Well,
Is the forklift near the generator?
It is not. It's on the same side of the building, but it's actually like kind of on the opposite end of it.
Okay.
All right, Howlin' Mad Murdoch, what'd you get?
436.
436. Because of Dave's lowering that, you have 2 successes.
Nice.
With that extraordinary success, this cloud of Freon and whatever all that stuff is in fire extinguisher, I don't know, fills the air, and you see this skitterer disappear, and like several shouts of annoyance and shock yelling inside the cloud as though multiple heads were talking in there. You reach the forklift and jam the speak and spell into the little like holder.
Ow.
Is there
Hopefully
a,
this works.
my assumption is that you're getting this so that Shackelford can possess the forklift.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Shackelford, what do you do?
The speak and spell kind of makes a noise, and it just feels less warm, less humming, and then and the forklift kind of suddenly seems to shine, and it's alive, and then the fork goes up and down and up and down, and kind of let's go, and it wheels around. I don't know how fast it can move, but it kind of like on its axles, like rotates in place as much as is possible.
Yeah.
And starts heading for. How are they positioned? I want to hit one of the singletons, the closest one.
Like one of the ones that isn't morphed together.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, you see those two that like they were heading towards the main mast when the main mast like kind of broke off and started running. So now they're heading towards it. Go ahead and do a brawn check.
Rolled a 1.
Oh no. As you like, you're like, you haven't possessed a forklift before, and they're surprisingly fast and can like kind of turn on a dime. And so you like go to spin it, and there's this moment you don't fall over, but everyone watches as the forklift like turns on a wheel and then is facing like away from the group instead of towards, as it like rocks down.
Forward.
What's that?
And roams forward in the wrong direction.
Right. All right. So Dusty Raps, you've got this this fire extinguisher going off. Modern Eagle is holding the bomb. What do you do, Modern Eagle?
So are they just moving away from the bomb?
So it looked like they were all moving to kind of morph together, and then the big one ran off after Howling Mad Murdoch, and the other ones are like, just come back here, damn it. And so they're not currently focused on you.
Can I drop the bomb and try and pick up one of them and
Sure.
throw him against the wall?
Hey, you just got attention.
3
Force.
words you don't want to hear. Drop the bomb.
Right? Everyone hears this clang, 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 clang.
There's a moment where everyone
Pause.
stops and just pauses and looks over like
Right? You see it flash like a light. You have no idea what that light means, but a little light goes off.
Broken forever.
So do a brawn check, Modern Eagle.
I just got 2 4s, and that's quite enough.
2 4s. So you need a 5.
Okay.
And the one that you're in is not in like the one that you're going for is not in the cloud of fire extinguisher smoke. So if you have a perk, you could spend a script to lower it by 1 and therefore get 2 successes.
Why not? I'll lower it by 1 and use my super strength. So
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Nice. Yes, I see you. We're bored now. We want more treats. All right, so with the 2 successes, tell me what you do as this this fellow human, like, looks largely human except for like these weird jitters that it has, and every so often you can see, you know, bits of it kind of like stretch out and do weird strange things. Thanks, Jason, for the pepper treat. You'll appreciate that. There you go, you spoiled munchkin. What do you do when you smash this guy?
Well, I flail a bit because kind of I tried to catch him, and then that piece faces out as I tried to grab it. And somehow managed to like get basically pick him up by shoulder or something.
Yeah,
Actually throw him against the bomb.
gotcha. So everyone hears this like beep 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 as this skitterer is just like cracked over, and you see they're like shifting, just kind of rapidly speed up and then slow down, and then all of it just fades away, and there's just this human there.
Like a regular human?
Just a regular human. Like the skittererness has faded with its death.
Just a human. Humans could never trust them.
When
Right?
was the last time we saw one of these?
So Dusty, that was kind of a reaction. Is there anything you want to do for your turn? Hi.
Yeah, do I see an so one of them has been decommissioned, we'll say.
Yeah.
And there's still others there. So I will with the kind of cloud of fire extinguisher material sort of dissipating a little bit, I'm gonna race forward and pull out my fly swatter and just smack the first one I see right across the face as
Sure.
hard as I can.
Yeah, so there's the big one, which is like kind of in the cloud, which is slowly dissipating, and then there's one that's trying to reach the big one to morph into it. That seems
Yeah.
bad. So do you want to smack the
Yeah.
little one?
I'm gonna smack the little guy as hard as I can.
Okay. So let's do a...
I'm gonna
You
be-
know,
I'm gonna-
I would call it brawn because you're trying to smack it as hard as you can, but if you have a reason to call it agility instead, I'd be
Yeah, I'm
open.
gonna try to be sneaky about it because I'm gonna use the dissipating fire extinguisher fog to
Gotcha.
come in so that they're like take some, you know, it's more so that it's sort of like distracting them rather than really trying to hurt them. So
Sure.
I'm gonna be sneaky about it so I can use my agility.
I like it.
I got 2 4s. I got no 5s or 6s.
Not enough. You go in,
Yeah.
like, all of a sudden he's right there, and you just start, like... And yeah, it's in his face, but he just kind of, like, stops looking at the big one, turns and looks at you, and is like... He does move away from you, stepping into the cloud, and you hear this kind of weird, it's both a wet and an electric sound, like this strange sucking noise. It's strange. And then he's gone, and the thing grows larger. So large, in fact, that one of its faces is looking right at you. It grows out of the mist, Dusty, and it smiles, and a fist. I don't have to roll. I keep reaching for dice. I don't roll in this game. I need you to make an agility check.
Okay.
As a fist sails out of the cloud.
6 5 1.
Amazing.
Nice.
So you got extraordinary success. You dance out of the way, even though you weren't like necessarily expecting it. You saw it coming. It was like,
Can I
whoa.
parry it with the fly swatter as it comes by? Just
Sure, make an agility check.
5-3-2.
5-3-2. You do like kind of slice it with the edge of the fly swatter. A little bit of like this weird purple green energy kind of flashes out. You're not sure if it did much, but it did something.
Okay. I'll take
All
it.
right. What's everybody doing?
Any chance I can push the bomb hard enough to actually hit the thing?
So you like roll the bomb into it?
Gooey guy.
Yeah.
Sure.
We'll go with bowling.
I'm just gonna say if we wrap up early, that's also okay. You know, there's
Well, that's my character's main game characteristic is brawn, so I'm assuming that we're...
so go ahead and do
Not be the brightest
a
thing.
brawn check.
Oh, 6 and a 5.
6
And a
and a
1.
5. You hear this cracking noise. You're not 100% sure if it was the bomb or the creature that you're trying to hit. But something snaps and it does howl in pain. There's a that comes out of the bomb.
Just throw bombs at it. That's its weakness.
It's allergic to bombs. All right, Shackleford, is there anything you want to do?
Shackleford is, remember, he's possessing the thing, so he can see everything around him. And way go, man! And then he just sort of guns it and raises the forklift backwards to try and back over one of the smaller guys.
So all the guys have now merged
no.
into one,
I
yeah.
was afraid of that.
So the only
They're gonna
smaller
try to
guys
take out
are
its
technically your own people.
No. So we're gonna back it to the big gooey guy, try to
Okay.
take it, like clip him on the leg or the knee or something.
Okay.
It's kind of a backup, and then
Nice. So let's do brawn.
yeah. 5.
A 5. Everyone hears this forklift like, and then you hear this kind of shredding noise. It's weird, Dusty. It sounds like that noise you heard earlier, but in reverse, and like you were playing it backwards on a record or something. And then you see this chunk of leg or something shoot out of the dispersing mist. Good job. Helen Mad Murdoch.
Yeah. As he was starting to bring up the shotgun, he saw the bomb go flying into it. So he's going to lower the shotgun, going, maybe that's not a good idea. And he's going to look over to the side where there's, they had water, extinguishers here, water pipes. So, in case something caught on fire with the bombs and stuff nearby, he's like,
Fire. You
They
say
got-
fire?
no,
Don't be talking about fire around me, Alan Man Murdoch.
He didn't say it. He was looking.
Fire
In
man,
case
there was,
fire man.
No fire.
Seeing this electricity off these guys, he's like, maybe I can ground them. And so he's going to grab like the water spray and just try to spray this thing down,
Sure.
hoping it like screws up their electrical, and also not damage the bomb while he's at it.
Yeah, fair.
Because shooting the shrapnel probably would have been a bad idea.
Let's call it an agility.
Okay.
The bomb probably doesn't have any electronics in it.
216.
I don't see why a bomb would have any electronics. It's probably squirrels. Squirrels are in there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
mole people.
So with the 6, you do manage to spray it. You notice the sparking doesn't really seem to react in a way you expected it to.
Okay.
But you do notice that it does kind of shift a little, and some of the water like pours out the other side of it. So it's not like a cohesive mass.
Yeah, like it split open and the water just went through.
More like maybe it's like a sieve. Like there's the bodies are like clumped together, but they're not
Okay.
completely merged.
Gotcha.
All right.
Worth a shot.
Well, with that, they came for that bomb. It reaches out with one very large hand. That other arms are kind of like springing out behind of like the meaty arm, and it's gonna try and grab that. And then you see another fist swing out and try and smash you, Modern Eagle. So let's do an agility for you to not get hit.
Maybe to assist him with that.
Tell me how.
Yeah, so I'm spraying this, the water pressure a little bit too much for me, and it's gonna push me around. I'm gonna get knock into him and use my hard to kill script.
Oh, nice. I like it. Yeah, so we'll reduce your difficulty by 1. So you need a 4 or better.
Yeah, I've got 4.
Just 1 4?
Yeah.
That's all you need. Perfect. So you could feel the wind pass by your face as he goes to grab you, and then there's just like this spritz of water that kind of passes by you, and you're like, oh, what was that? And
Is that the hose pipe that he's using?
right. And he just missed you by inches.
Alan, can I have that? I have a plan.
Sure, if you can get control of it.
I'm going to try and use the hose, that thing, to tie the amalgamation that's trying to pick up the bomb.
Oh, like shackle
Run
it?
around it.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So go ahead and let's do
Ability, probably.
I'll let this be agility or brawn.
Okay, well, what can be brawn then? I would think agility, but yeah, I'm okay with brawn, obviously. And I don't make it.
Oh no.
It's like I have and then kind of like run out, but you get the
So it like you do wrap the hose around, but like it actually kind of shifts, and you notice the hose morphs kind of through it and then spits out the other side. Shackford, what were you saying? Oh, are you muted?
yes.
You're muted, Weezy.
I shouldn't be.
Now I hear you.
Ow!
Okay.
Yeah, there, we can hear you.
It's magic.
I didn't touch my mic.
Maybe just out of range or
Yeah,
something.
the hose was too quick for you.
That's right. Is there anything that Shackleford wants to do?
That's possible.
No, Modern Eagle forgot to put the lotion on the
How's this
skin.
thing looking? Are we doing anything to it, or are we just annoying
It is really difficult to tell. This is not the most visibly reactive creature that you've ever gotten a battle with. A lot of things bleed, a lot of things bruise or show signs of injury. This just isn't yet. Although there was a large chunk of flesh that flew off.
Where did that large chunk of flesh end up?
Oh, it's on the floor right there.
Rusty wants to run, like, skewer it with the forklift, and or run over it. Is there any, like, what other mechanical objects or electronic objects are around in the room, or is the forklift it?
You do know that there are chains that are like hanging from the ceiling. You hadn't really like looked too much at them before, but from the angle that you're at now, you can see that they're like on an apparatus that essentially like they would have been able to like pick up the pod units with. But other than that, it seems like a lot of the stuff has been looted over the years.
Okay, on the way by to buzz or hopefully squash those are the front and back tires. The chunk of flesh wants to head over to the control panel of the I want to say chain crane.
Chain crane.
Chain lift, that's
Totally.
what it's called.
Great.
Okay. And then do you want to possess it when you get there?
I words in good.
What's
I
that?
want to possess it when I get there.
So
I want to possess it when I get there. I words in goods.
Nice. All right. So while you head over there and possess that, what is Dusty Raps up to?
Well, so you had mentioned that there's this face that kind of comes out of this mass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am going to I'm gonna grab it by the ears, and I'm going to open my mouth like I'm gonna scream. And I have control bugs. There are scarab beetles that come out like a fire hose, just right into its face. And I'm just hoping that they're gonna devour right through it.
Nice. I
Eat a
love
hole in
it.
this thing.
Go ahead and let's call that a crafty roll.
Oh no.
The mummy returns.
Right.
Can I use anything to make my perk like extra? Like, could I burn a script?
So
to
what perk
enhance
would
my
you
perk?
burn the script to enhance it with?
Well, so I have control bugs,
Oh yeah, I totally see.
and so I was thinking maybe.
I will. So for this, what are you rolling? Are you rolling one die?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have
Yeah.
one
So let's
die.
call this an auto success because it is something that you will definitely succeed at doing. It's not like there's any chance of failure for it.
Okay.
And so you burn your script and you vomit these bugs forth on it. Everyone sees these like scarab beetles just like pour into, like you grabbed it by the ears and so it like opened its mouth in shock. So you're just like sending them down its gullet.
Vomiting scarab
Right.
beetles into its mouth.
And it begins it's trying to yell or scream. You're not really sure what this noise is, and other faces are on it and kind of like all turn and look at the one that's screaming, and there is like this weird shimmer and shift, and then you're holding by the ears just a singular skitterer that is just like, there's, you know, in the Mummy where the like the beetles are moving under their skin, that's happening like all over it, and he's trying to yell, and then he implodes.
Yeah.
Nice.
One beetle goes pew, dunk, gets up, looks around, and then scurries away. So now it's a smaller large unit.
Way go, man!
It did not like that. It moves away from you. However, it still wants that bomb, and so it's going to go over and try and it does like its arms begin to coalesce into this gigantic fist, and it lowers it down, runs, and like kind of golf swings at Modern Eagle, trying to knock you away. So let's do a
Assume.
agility.
Actually, can I try to catch the arm?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, and do a brawn.
Yeah.
Sure.
I get the 1-5 and 2 2s.
1, 5, and 2 2s. You do catch it, however, it does also move you back. The bomb is no longer in your possession, it's on the floor. You and the creature move like a good 20 feet away from everybody. So everyone else, the bomb is kind of like spinning slowly on the floor. It's making weird little beeping noises as well as the scraping of metal on concrete.
I'm trying to hold onto the hand and
Nice. Is there anything you want to
wrestling.
Is there anything
I'm
you
going
want
to
to
try
do
and
in
wrestle-
retaliation to it?
I tried to break its wrist.
Sure.
Human has a wrist.
It is a very large wrist currently.
I'll get 2
Yeah,
successes.
how gooey is it? Is it like really just one singular person, or is it a little bit more like a melted action figure where the edges are a little fuzzy?
more melted action figure.
Okay, well, in that case, if it's more melted action, I can't feel any bones. I'm going to try and pull off the hand.
Okay.
So I get a 6 and a 5 and a 3.
6, a 5, and a 3.
Full grip.
So there is this weird tearing sound. Again, Dusty, it's like the opposite of what you heard earlier where they're remorphing. And part of one of these skitterers comes ripping out of the hand. The hand is like kind of dangling there. It's weird. It doesn't look right. It's almost like you're not seeing the entirety of it. Like bits of it are disappearing into folds of space. And then it kind of reforms and it all pulls itself back together. And there are technically 3.5 people in there now. You can tell one of the faces in its chest that's kind of moving around. Now it's on its shoulder and it kind of slides onto its back. It looks like it's screaming, but you can't hear it. What do you do? Anybody?
So the bomb's on the ground
Yeah.
and it's blinking in some way.
Yeah.
They're still trying to grab it and run, it looks like, right?
Well, they were heading that way, but then Modern Eagle ended up distracting them or physically kind of moving them away. So
Okay.
you kind of
How
have
many
free
dangling
access to it.
chains do we have?
Nearby, it looks like there are 4. Like there would be 4 that connect to each corner, or 1 to connect to each corner of a pod.
Is it controlled by a single chain lift, or is each one of them attached to a different lifting mechanism?
So it looks like they go up into like a unit, essentially, that kind of would move about. So they're connected together, but they're not. Once they separate out and go over the pod, they're kind of their own area of effect. However, they are pretty long.
Rusty, yeah, sure. Rusty wants to drop that down towards the floor and see if he can sort of shake it. Hopefully, it rattles. Over here.
Yeah. Hallie Mad Murdoch definitely sees that.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about trying to wrap a chain on the bomb so that they could take it away, or at least keep it from being taken off from us
Sure.
fighting the machine. So I'm going to run over, grab the chain, and try to wrap it, connect it where it's got a good tight control over the bomb.
Nice. Yeah, don't even need to roll for that. That's a thing you can do. Shackleford, are you gonna raise the bomb out of the way?
Hoist it up as high as he can and as fast as he can, and everybody sort of has this mental image of a ghost or a man just going like, then holding the bomb.
Nice. Dusty, what are you up to?
Am I still facing one of these skitters? One of these big skitters?
No, so the big skidder moved. It's now about 20 feet away from you. It is over with Modern Eagle. The two of them kind of Clash of Titans it over in that direction. You were left kind of like everyone was standing around the bomb for a moment there, and then Murdoch ran off with the bomb. So you're kind of like by yourself.
All right. What the hell am I doing? So the two of you are trying to get the bomb secured in this chain crane thing.
Yes, I have hoisted the chain crane to the sky. I don't know how high off the ground it is or how securely I have it. I'm sure we'll find out.
It's about 20 feet in the air right at the moment.
I feel good with that. I feel secure.
You think I should go get Petunia and back her in?
Rusty's like, don't touch my truck. Yes.
I'm getting mixed signals there, Shackleford, Rusty.
So you rattle
Use
your chains
use
to
your own truck.
All right, I'm gonna go get the evil moose caboose. I'm gonna run out and get the truck. Basically, what I want to do, Jeremy, is I want to get the truck and just ram it into the doors and open them up the old-fashioned way.
Oh yeah,
Are
hell yeah. No, don't use mine. Use yours.
Are you
Yeah,
backing
just-
it in, or are
I'll
you?
get the dust devil. I'll get the dust
Yeah,
devil.
I'm just imagining that Shackleford Rusty shakes the chains to make their
Right.
voice.
It's weird because there's like the chains
Wait.
are like jingle, 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 but you're pretty sure it says "fuck no."
But it sounds so
Rusty,
joyful.
Are the keys to Petunia up in the sun visor? Like if he went and dropped the sun visor, would the keys be up there?
I don't think so. I don't think it runs on like that mechanism anymore because he possesses it. I
All right, I'm
honestly
gonna grab-
don't know
I'm
if
gonna
it even
grab
needs
the-
fuel.
I'm gonna grab the dust devil and I'm
Okay.
gonna back it through the hangar doors.
All right, so Dusty runs out.
But like fast.
The way you all came in, well, except for Shackleford, Dusty runs out that door. We'll
Well,
come
run
back
in.
to you.
I'll be right back, y'all.
Right?
I'll be right back.
I'm getting the impression that SpongeBob, like 3 hours later.
Right. So
You take
Modern
your
Eagle,
time.
the large fist that isn't as large as it used to be stretches open and is going to try and like essentially grab your legs, and then it wants to Hulk smash you. Like it's going to try and I don't need dice. I need you to make an agility check to try and get out of the way.
Okay, I'll try and like leap over the thing, and I fail. I get 4. Can I use my tough hide in my last script to decrease the difficulty?
Yes. So what does the tough hide perk say?
Actually,
I could check real quick too. Hang on.
yeah, I have it open because actually. I guess with tough hide, I'll let him bash me around, but it just doesn't do much.
It's hard to hurt you thanks to your skin. So this is going to be, it's going to lower the difficulty. What did you get when you rolled?
I got 4.
A 4. So let's do this. What happens is it does grab you. There is this moment where you are like flung about, smashed back and forth, but when it's done and it kind of looks down at you, you just look up and smile because that was fun. That's kind of like being on a carnival ride. I love it.
My turn. I try to do the same to him.
Nice. All right, so you're going to do a brawn in return.
Yeah. I get a 6 and a 4 and a 2.
All right, so the 6 will count as a success. You're not able to Hulk smash it quite as effectively, but you do notice that like bits of it kind of don't fly off so much as like you knock it over and there's grit on the floor that essentially gets left behind. It seems like it's reducing its mass, and as that grit kind of re-solidifies into human parts, it's difficult to tell what they were at one time.
Hey, Eagle, get clear.
Oh. I roll out of the way when I hear that.
Okay, what do you do?
I'm going to walk over to the forklift and turn it to go directly to him and just set it to move, and then pull up the shotgun, and as it gets close, you should have gave it your best shot and shoot the propane tank.
Oh, gotcha. Nice. Okay. All right. So do a agility to try and aim that.
Two, 6, 6.
Two.
Nice.
So that's
That was
an
close.
extraordinary extraordinary success. That was enough. What happens as this?
Oh yeah, we didn't know skitterers were extremely flammable.
Fire!
Luckily,
But you're not there
luckily
yet, so that's
Dusty
good.
is on-
I'm not there.
yeah. Dusty's like halfway to the door. As slow as she
Oh
can.
shit!
Right? No. You actually like kind of bunch up your bandages and just like start running.
It's like pants that are unsecured or something.
Yeah, like hoisting his bandages up.
Just like the 80s movie Jump with the explosion behind her.
Love it. So, bits of skitter rain down in this warehouse. The chains kind of rattle. Modern Eagle, unaffected, unfazed by this thing hitting it. Dusty Wraps there's a little smolder on your backside, but for the most part, you got clear in time. What do you all
That was a
do?
close one. I'm making a beeline for the rig
Okay.
as fast as my mummified corpse can take me, which isn't fast.
Outside, you all hear the Dust Devil fire up. Just get into gear. There's some grinding as Dusty Wraps tries to like hurriedly jam this thing into first gear, and then crunch, and like parts of the door just kind of fold out of the way. The like track that it sits on shifts, and there's a very large hole in the door.
Are there still skitterers about in here?
There's bits of skitterer, but there are no active skitterers.
All right.
Oh, crap. I destroyed the seeing spell.
Oh no.
The chains
Y'all-
give the impression of hands on hips being like, well, good job.
Y'all ready to get that bomb loaded up and get on out of here or what? Hey!
So what, do we just put it in the moose caboose? In the middle of the moose?
It'll be well protected, that's for sure.
Maybe we should look at why it's blinking.
Blinking.
Rusty lowers it down, probably faster than he should, and stops a little bit before the ground. And
Like a
then
baby.
it sort of goes,
Yeah.
and then slow, and then it kind of just tonk. And then the chains kind of slacken.
Okay.
Dusty's gonna hop out of the rig and lurch over to where the bomb is now resting.
I'm also going to try and take a look, because using my mechanic skills,
Nice. Yeah, go ahead and do a
obviously double up with bomb disposal.
if anyone has a perk or something that would benefit this, that's probably who's going to want to roll. Or if you don't have script left, I can offer a complication for you to roll with your perk.
Oh, I could take care of this, but you go right ahead, Modern Eagle.
Well, I would have to take a complication, so
Well, I should have probably told you this a while back, but I used to be a bit of a explosive expert in my day. Woo! Modeling,
oh, why did you say so?
explosive expertise. It kind of goes hand in hand, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
Woo!
this-
Yeah.
well, maybe you should take a look at this. I'm pretty sure this has explosives in it.
Not a problem. Not a
Does this have
problem.
like a keypad, Jeremy?
It does. Yeah.
I'll try to assist. I'll see if this works.
Okay.
I'm going to walk over and sniff at the keypad. You know, my instincts to hunt humans, like their smell just sticks out to me. And like number 2 has been pressed a lot. Number 7, number 9, and number 1. I could smell a lot of, there was sweat on those.
All right. So somebody go ahead and roll a crafty check.
So I'll spend that script.
Nice.
Who's rolling it?
I think Dusty, you should.
All right. Well, I'm going to use a perk, and I think I'll burn a script if I can.
So
If I can.
Helen Mad Murdoch just burnt one to,
So we
to
already
lower
burned
it.
a script.
Yeah.
Well, all right, because basically I got a perk here, and it's I'm a good liar. I'm a real good liar. So I got this. Y'all just step back a little bit, Dusty. Now,
The liars.
between you and
I
me, if
got
something
this.
goes
Everything's
Yeah.
fine.
Right.
everything's
There's a
fine.
lot.
Mad Howlin' Mad Murdoch, something goes terribly wrong here. You just dive out of the way, okay? I'm sure it'll be fine. I got this. All right, so I have no idea what I'm rolling.
So you're gonna do a
craft?
crafty. So if you don't have crafty, or if you aren't a crafty, I think you're agility, right?
I'm agility,
Yeah. So you're gonna roll 1d6.
Yep. But I am using my perk. That doesn't help?
So you need a 4 or better at this point.
Okay. All right, here we go. 4 or better. My friends, that's a 2.
Poke around at it. It beeps some. You have no idea what that means. However, what do you tell your convoy partners here?
Well, it looks to me like it's now in standby mode. It's going to be fine. It's nothing to worry about, Modern Eagle. Nothing to worry about.
That's what I told. Thank you for confirming that.
Well,
let's
let's
load
get
it
this
up.
thing loaded up then. Get it out of here.
So should I put in the moose caboose? We safer there.
Sure as hell not putting it on my Petunia.
I mean, I
Yep.
think we got to put it on Petunia. You can't load this thing on top of the cattle
Well,
truck,
where's,
can we?
where's
Yeah, we'll
the
put it right in there with them.
bubble cop? Yes, you know what? Let's do that. We are going to strap this bomb into the passenger seat, or into the bench seats in the cab, and it's going to. We are now a high occupancy cab.
Okay.
Okay.
I buckle it in.
So a short while later,
But between the possums.
right? Short
Move them
while
out of the
later, one
way.
of the
The possums
possums,
are going to help me hold it, make sure it doesn't shift too much when I brake.
like possessed by Shackleford, Rusty, one of the possums is buckling the bomb into its safety seat. Short while later, everyone, Dusty, you drive Dust Devil back out of the door, and everyone heads on the road.
As I was walking out,
Uh-huh.
I saw in one of the offices somebody that used to work here had a funny sense of humor, and they had like a bumper sticker that says "A nuke is my co-pilot."
Nice.
So I'm gonna grab that and slap it on the back of Petunia.
Petunia roars to life with a burp, burp, and like a yay.
Love it. All right, so as you all head back on the road, what do you do?
We know where we're taking this thing.
Yeah.
You do.
All right, let's head there. Let's get this job done.
I think we should move it as fast as we can.
Fast.
Agree.
I can go fast.
Yeah,
Let's
just
do
don't
this.
rear end me this time.
It's gonna be a real short trip.
Where is Modern Eagle? Because Petunia wants to just like take off, leaving dust and gravel and everything sort of spitting as those wheels spin. But
I think I'll
not
just
gonna leave
take
the
off
teammate
with it.
behind.
My helicopter is actually not on the truck. I just landed somewhere, so I'll just take off with it and
Okay.
out
Okay, in
ahead.
that case, Rusty's like, not waiting for you. And then, doo, doo.
So if this were an ongoing game, an important thing would be get your script back. Now,
Yep.
you all, or most of you, spent script during that last encounter. We're moving into a new scene, and so this is an opportunity for one of you to use the CB to inform dispatch of what happened, or somebody to warn them of the danger that happened here, and get back one script. But only one person can do it per scene.
I think Modern Eagle was fully out of script, right?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out what do I want them about.
Yeah.
Skitters?
And who do you call?
Ghostbusters!
And it can even be like a
I win.
general, right?
I think I'll take it out to general. All truckers, watch out. The skitters have been acting up, and also watch out for any for unexploded ordnance in the area.
Love it.
I'm not going to mention that unexploded ordnance is on one of our trucks, but hey.
Yeah,
Did
well,
we
we don't.
get the skitterer, or can it come back?
I don't think they come with an instruction manual.
I don't know. It burned pretty good.
I just don't want to find out that there's a chunk stuck to Petunia, like wedged in the treads or something, or wrapped around the axle, and it's gonna googe its way inside the cabin and go for my bomb or my buddy.
I think you're fine, but I think there will be bits in the Dust Devil, though.
The Dust Devil's a goddamn mess right now with these murder moves. You know, they're eating and defecating all over the place. It's a mess. So I don't think it's going to matter much.
The poo also whispers.
I thought it was just me. You can hear that too, huh?
I hear everything in the non-audible range of sound.
It's like, kill me. Please kill me.
Or just one bite.
Mm-hmm. Feed me.
All right. So, managed to find the delivery location. There, a group of monsters take the bomb off your hands. You meet with a doctor named Cecil. He's actually a vampire and has spent many years prior to the end of the world practicing not only medicine, but also getting several PhDs in the sciences. Immortality will do that for you. And has this strange theory that he can use the same technology to reverse the damage that has been done to the world. However, that's something that's out of your hands as you head back out, taking the murder moose, pesticides, and fertilizer to your final destination.
I feel sorry for the vampire.
What?
300 years old and he's still paying off college tuition.
I was going to say, even with the end of the world, they are still sending him emails and nasty phone calls about paying his student loans.
Kind of debt that cannot be canceled.
Unless you die and, he's a vampire.
Right? He's like, does anybody want to stake me? Please.
One more time.
With that, let's do a round of introductions. I feel like it's a great place to wrap up.
Won.
You did.
Yeah.
You did. I didn't
This
manage to
part, I am
smoosh
sure.
any of you.
This is gonna. Oh, God.
What a great game.
That was some really good thinking on uses of your scripts for both your own perks and support perks. You pulled each other's butts out of the fire a couple of times. I loved it. That was awesome. Why don't we do a round of outros? Jason, let's start with you.
Yeah. Hey, y'all. I'm Jason, aka Glassjaws. You can catch me here playing games at times or catch me playing video games over at my channel. Thanks again for running. This is a great game.
Absolutely.
Hopefully it gets some good backing.
It is so close. I'm hoping that Table Cat Games can pull it off, because I would love to see this in a final form printed on my bookshelf. It'd be wonderful. Who do you want to send it over to?
I'll send it over to Wheezy.
Hi, I've been Wheezy. I've been playing Shackleford, Rusty, and like a pimp named Slickback, you say the whole thing. Yes, definitely pick up the game back. Table Cat. This would be fun. I want to continue with my co-pilots over here. I can be found on Wanderers, and as I understand it, on June 1st, they are wrapping up Arrhenius for prior to Wanderers hiatus.
Yeah,
so I'll check that out.
June 9th at 9 p.m. June 9th at 9 p.m. The final episode of Arrhenius.
All right, I'm going to kick it over to Dusty. He could taught her.
Mummies are very fun to play, by the way.
Nice.
So I highly recommend, if you pick up this game, which you should, that you try playing the Mummy. Yeah, Jeremy, thank you so much for running this game, and
Thank you.
And Wheezy and Anad and Glassjaws, you guys are awesome, super fun to play with. Thank you for including me. My name's Dave, Dungeon Dave or DM Dave, and I can be found running games, playing games, and producing games over at Guild Superior. Come on over and check us out if you would like to get goofy. That's what we do over there. We have fun and get goofy. I really appreciate being able to play with all the great people that have formed this community, and that's why I keep doing it, because there's just a lot of great people out there to play games with. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I guess it's over to me because
And over to you, sir. Yeah, popcorn.
yeah. So my name is Nanad. Go by Makerspace in various places on the internet. Occasionally play games either here or on Restless Barbarian Gaming, and yeah, trying to do more of that. That's basically me.
Love it. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you joining me for this. If the backer kit does fund, I feel like that's a reason to celebrate and come back and tell more stories with Shackleford, Dusty, Howling Mad Murdoch, and Modern
100%.
Eagle.
Absolutely.
Just saying. So if you're watching and you haven't already, head over and back the game so that can happen. We are going to raid out, but before we do that, we're going to do a quick cutscene back to the end of that battle where there was a certain possum that had been ridden by a ghost into that hangar and then left there while all of that kerfuffle happened. You know possums. On the way out, it just wanted to grab a snack. Oh, what's this little bit of yummy little flesh? Tasty. Then climbed up in that cab, rode its way on. And Shackleford really never noticed the little, glitches it started to show. The little bits of maybe electricity or energy, green and purple, dancing through its eyes as it glitches
back there.
in the back seat. And with that, we're going to raid out. Thank you all so much. Head over. Make sure you back this. We will see everybody soon. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.
Take care,
Bye,
buddy.
everyone.
Bye.